my friends, before I even start, I just want to tell you I am not a doctor. I give no medical advice whatsoever. I am just reporting on the research that I have done and what appears to be my conclusion. Well, they are my conclusions. So I get to draw conclusions. I'm not telling you to do anything or not do anything, but you know, I obviously have to see and make conclusions on my own, and you're welcome to hear them. Now, this is a medical place, and they're talking about newborn care in the first 6 weeks and digestive problems, gastrointestinal problems. What might gastrointestinal problems indicate? Now, then they go through all of these serious problems, and they are serious because they have no way to deal with these things, and it causes all kinds of problems. Colic, they can't get along with their parents. They can't adjust to the parents because all they can do is cry and scream, and they've got diarrhea and all kinds of things. And all they do is tell you these are all kind of problems. Go find a doctor. Now, I say that probiotics are the reason that they're having these troubles. They didn't get properly immunized when they were being born in the birth canal, or something caused them not to have the correct probiotics in their gut. Now, they might have got some kind of antibiotics, or they might have given them something, but I can tell you what, if you have bad bacteria in your gut, you will have an issue. I had to have surgery twice after taking antibiotics for a root canal. That's all it was. He never said anything about repopulating and it was terrible. It was absolutely horrifying because I didn't know what to do. It was bad, and they operated and it just came back, because once you don't have that bacteria, you have to repopulate it. So, and thank God I found a doctor. He told me, he says, take Metamucil and something else, but the Metamucil seemed to do the job. That really helps a lot too. But the probiotics are absolutely essential. See this right here? You can tell a lot about your baby's health by what's in his or her diaper. Use this baby poop guide to distinguish normal changes from warning signs that require a visit to the doctor. And this is pretty serious. It talks about breastfeeding and formula and what it looks like and the colors and, you know, black stool and so forth, and hard pebbly poop and all these different things that can happen. And then it goes on to, it gets pretty deep into this, and warning signs and white baby poop and so forth. Now, whenever these kids have these issues, really nasty gut issues, they're in trouble. Simple as that. It's just like you are. If you're not pooping like normal, you know, fairly regular, and it's, you know, somewhat consistent, you know, it's going to change a little bit, because we eat a lot of different foods. You take a dog, he eats the same thing every day. Their poop is just consistently like a nice little log, fairly soft. You know, you give him something different, he's going to have a little soft stool. It's going to be a little change, just like us. And a baby will normally is going to have pretty much of a consistent diet, which they should have. You know, I can't tell you exactly what it means and what is good and bad, but if they're taking the probiotics, I think you'll see that it'll be normal looking and everything will be fine. That's my conclusion after doing research, not just a guess. Now, you go from there, it's up to you. And anyway, I hope everyone stays healthy, and the one way to stay healthy is to poop good. It's as simple as that. It all comes down to poop. Alright, this is all about the digestive system, and all about how our tissues absorb things and so forth in the small and the large intestine, the colon and so forth. Well, guess what? We have a digestive system, and it has to work with bacteria in all of these different regions of the digestive system. I mean, there's all kinds of different regions. Now, an infant doesn't have any of that stuff. It says digestive system of a newborn. Unlike the adult body, the fetal, which is the baby, digestive system does not have a digestive function from birth. They don't have any of the stuff that we have to digest. Well, why? The stomach and the intestine are reduced. The liver, with its blood functions, hemophatic functions, is proportionally much more developed. So the liver is dealing with all the toxins at this point. Normally, your digestive system does a lot of that other stuff. So that's how I'm taking it. I could be wrong. But I can tell you one thing. These layers of tissue have to be protected by bacteria. And the bacteria from a baby gets it when they are coming through the vaginal canal. There's a ton of bacteria in there that they, all over them, in their eyes, in their nose, in their ears. Everybody, their body should be completely saturated with that stuff. And there should be fecal matter all over them too, in their mouth, in their nose, in their eyes. It doesn't matter. That's what gives them their immunities. You know, the feces, I'm telling you right now, they should slather them in all of that stuff when they're born. You know, that's their protective system at birth. Otherwise, they don't have anything. There's nothing there. And if you don't populate these tissues with these kind of bacteria, you're open for invasion. And that's when the kids have all kinds of issues. And then when they give them antibiotics, it kills the bacteria that are living in these layers that are your protective layers of tissue. And then you get invaded, and then they have all kind of, and the other thing is, nerves run through this interstitium layer. I believe this is the interstitium layer, or it might be there. But they all have a certain layer that will be where the nerves run. And that is where all of it's the interstitium, it's called. And it's a complete system that runs through the entire body. And that is where all these digestive juices get their enzymes from these bacteria that live in there. Well, they also make slime to coat all of the nerve fibers to keep them from getting, you know, shorted out. Basically, this is what it is. And if you don't have the right bacteria living in there, you'll be stimming. And I'll give you a perfect example how I know that for a fact. Marguerite's son, John Jr., who I talked about, I believe, or will talk about, had autism, and he was so bad. He's just continuously like this. And when he was getting better, and he got completely better, that was gone. And he was talking and all this stuff. And then she had something happen over there. They couldn't get a delivery of the probiotics. And she couldn't get it to him for, I don't know, it was like a week. It wasn't very long. And he starting again. And he said, Mom, what's happening? Why am I shaking? Why am I shaking? And she gave it to him, you know, once it came back in, he took it and he was better again. So to me, that's pretty indicative of a direct relationship. You know, you take it for whatever you think, but I think, well, it was pretty obvious. As soon as he got the probiotics again, he stopped shaking. And he was okay. So something in his body is not breaking down or providing the insulation for his nerve fibers. That's how I'm taking that. Now, I would like to know what is missing now in that layer when he doesn't take the probiotics. What's in that layer when he does take the probiotics? Or somehow we have to isolate these things. And that's not my area of expertise. My area of expertise is trying to draw relationships between different things. And I think I have drawn an unquestionable relationship between the bacteria that lives in these membranes. And it's specific to different types of membranes. That's why if a woman gets breast cancer, she gets breast cancer not in just one breast. They say, "Ooh, you're going to have it in that breast, you're going to have it in the other." That's why, because breast tissue is a specific type of tissue. So if it's missing the bacteria here, it's going to be missing it in the other breast. It just happens that this one got invaded first. The other one could very well likely get invaded. But the same with lymph nodes. If you got one that's being invaded, the rest of them probably don't have the right kind of bacteria to break down those, because the lymph nodes are garbage dumps. They have to break down all the toxic stuff. If you're being invaded by some toxin that your lymph node has no defense against, sooner or later it will damage that lymph node. But if you don't have the bacteria living in that particular lymph node, all the other lymph nodes in your body, which there is a ton of them, are also lacking that bacteria almost certainly. So eventually they're going to load up with something. If there's enough toxins in that specific area, they will be overwhelmed, and that's why they say, yeah, once you get it, it goes right through your whole body. Yes. You don't have bacteria anywhere in any of those lymph nodes. That's what they have to do, is start looking into what is the lymph node bacteria species colonies, healthy versus unhealthy. What's happening when you get cancer? What bacteria are different? And I'm going to tell you right now, almost 100% certainty that there will be a completely different bacterial colony associated to healthy tissue versus unhealthy tissue. All right, I think that's my last word. All right, I'm just going to point out this one. They're all basically, as far as I'm concerned, if you've got a ton of different live cultures, which is, this has, they call them the live ones, CFUs. They're live cultures. So they know for a fact there's 15, well, they say that, 15 billion of these live cultures living in there. That's why you can't use hot water with them. And they have basically designed this, they claim, for the child's tiny tummy probiotic packets designed to give the baby a healthy start, favorable balance of gut bacteria, which can help develop their digestive immune system. That's so important. It's just unbelievable. And they have a positive influence on their health for years to come. That's no question whatsoever. That is a true statement. And they say this is for 12 months to 4 years, provides your baby with critical strains for immune health, digestion, and brain development. All that, I have no question whatsoever, is factual. And I don't know if this stuff is good, but if it's got all of these probiotics in there, it's going to be good. All right, and it looks like it's an easy packet. They cut out one packet every day, and there's 30 packages in here. That's a month, and they just, you open it up and put it right in their milk or whatever. It says this daily children's probiotic come in easy to administer individual sticks, 15 billion active cultures, and added prebiotics per pack. So it's got both the probiotics and prebiotics. Simply dispense the entire contents of one packet daily into cool food or drink and mix until dissolved. Keep in mind you shouldn't add it to warm food or drinks. Now, some of the comments said that it was just very, very simple to use. The kids had no idea. They just put it in a bottle or whatever. You have to figure it out what to do, but it's in other words, you don't have to give them pills. Kids won't take the pills, and that's what happened with Marguerite's son, who had terrible autism. He never spoke a word till 9.5 years old, totally nonverbal, just stimming and humming, and they were going to put him in a locked ward, and now he's almost normal. And that was from probiotics and from a couple of little things that she started. She's a trustee of a charity now. They're starting a whole thing over in Ireland. And already they've helped, I believe, hundreds of autistic kids, proven the point beyond a shadow of a doubt that it works. And, you know, how good it works is not 100% certain. But it appears to be 100% certain it works. Now, does it work for everybody? That's not 100% certain. And the other thing is, does everybody keep up with the way Marguerite did? That's not 100% certain. Because she said that when John Jr. is her son that had autism, just terribly, and he couldn't communicate, couldn't talk, none of that stuff. And after he became basically very, very close to normal, is my understanding. Now, I've never actually been there and seen him and talked to him, but she's just absolutely thrilled. And I guess he's just communicative, and they think he might be a savant. He's very, very, he totally turned around. Let's just go with that. And the only reason that it was because of correcting his digestive system. He had all kinds of problems with his gut. And the first thing I said to her, well, what's his poop like? And she says, oh, he's the same as all the kids with autism. Autism causes this terrible stuff. And I said, no, just the opposite. And she was the one that did all the work on her side. I didn't have to do anything. I just said, try this, and she did. And it ended up, she's pretty happy. And she used one that was Garden of Life. And it was a powder, and she mixed it in with ice cream for him. And that's how she got him to take it, but that was the only way. Now, listen to this. He came back to pretty much normal. And they were going to the park and doing all these kinds of things. They were in, I guess, the zoo one time, and he says, you remember when we were here last time, Mom, and I saw this and I saw that? And he had never been able to say anything before about it. She had no idea he even knew he was there. And he said he remembered all this stuff. Very, very touching to know that, you know, something like that can happen and change so dramatically with such a very, very minor thing. And if this was intervened with before those symptoms became so ingrained, there may have never been any issues at all with any of these kids if they had the right probiotics in their guts. It's digestion. You don't have the digestion, you're going to get sick. And apparently, as I said, the interstitial layer seems to have all the nerves running through that particular layer. And that's where these bacteria live. And that's where they create the slime and the mucus and all that stuff. I would think about this and look a little deeper. I'm not making any medical decisions for anybody. These are just over-the-counter things, but we have found that they do seem to work. And Marguerite's you know, her charity or whatever you want to call it. I forget what they were going to name it, but it's an autism institute basically, and it's a charity thing. It's not there to make any money. It's there to help people to understand the needs of their kids and everybody, all the kids. And we have to be able to talk about it. You have to be able to speak up. And I think I've done the research. Marguerite's done the research. She actually went to Harvard University to understand the microbiome after seeing the results of her son. And then she decided this is just insane not to go out and make this available to everyone, to make them understand this. Because even still today, if you talk to your pediatrician and ask him about probiotics, I'd be surprised if they give you a big, oh yeah, absolutely, oh, no question. I don't know, but see what they say. I'm interested. I would like to hear in the comments section what they do say. And again, I'm not recommending anything. There's a ton of these things out there. I just found that one, and they're all over the place. But I saw that one. It looked pretty good. They got kids this, and there's the Garden of Life. And that was what Marguerite gave John Jr. What's this one now? It used to come in a little tub, and you scooped out a scoop. The other one comes in a little packages, but see, they got, look, 1,000 reviews, very, very good. And this is for kids. No, I imagine it's for basically for anybody, but for I believe the reason is for kids is this powder. This was the one she gave them right here. Primal Defense. Right there, that one there. And he came right around. Very, very, like I say, it's heartwarming. Now here's one over here. It's got 5 stars. So again, I don't know. You know, you'd have to look around, get the, like I say, as far as I'm concerned, the highest number of CFUs, which is the live bacteria, the more likely it is that you're going to get a good benefit. All right? All I can say is I hope somebody listens to this and does what they should do and make sure their kids, if they got a problem with pooping, any issue with the digestive system, if it's not normal, then you have to do something. You have to intervene or your kid is in trouble.